today's in-depth discussion on game design and development, focusing on two major titles, Genshin Impact and Elden Ring. We're joined by a diverse panel of experts. Let's start with a brief introduction. Hello, I'm Dr. Ram from the Malaysian government. My role involves supporting and promoting innovation in digital and creative industries, including game development. I will be the host for today's discussion.
Hi, I'm Afiq. I'm a longtime gamer who is experienced in playing multiple games of different genres and from different studios. As the representative of the general user base, I believe that I'm able to use my knowledge in this field to address concerns and voice out the opinions of the general user base.
Hello, I am Krishan. I represent MiHoYo, the creators of Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is a game known for its expansive open world and plethora of engaging characters.
Ryan, a representative of From Software, the developers of Elden Ring. And Elden Ring is a game that is celebrated for its immersive world building and challenging gameplays that will put your gaming skills to the test.
Let's start with a broad question. There is a common question I received from some of my colleagues who are interested in the gaming industry. What is the impact of international games like Genshin Impact and Elden Ring on the Malaysian gaming industry? For me, I do think that international successful projects such as Genshin Impact and Elden Ring are undoubtedly milestones in the modern gaming world. They show how far a professionally made game can go, motivating domestic creators to reach such heights. The Malaysian administration is also eager to nurture this trend through the provision of grants, tax exemptions, as well as joint projects with foreign countries. As such, we are intent on creating conditions that will enable local talents to flourish and compete with the rest of the world. Afiq, as a gamer, what are your initial impressions on Genshin Impact and Elden Ring in terms of their design and gameplay?
Both games offer a vast open world full of secrets and mysteries. The distinction between these games are at its gameplay design and art style. Genshin Impact utilizes multiple characters for its combat mechanic, all of which have distinct designs, gameplay, and story. This is further enhanced by its appealing anime-like art style, which attracts the attention of many anime fans. Meanwhile, Elden Ring's gameplay is more akin to the style of Souls game, where players are given the option to customize the characters in order to overcome the challenging combat. The art style of Elden Ring is that of a realistic dark fantasy.
Prashan, can you explain some of the key design elements of Genshin Impact that contributes to its success?
Absolutely. Genshin Impact features the latest top-of-the-line graphics and an open-world design that encourages players to explore and unearth the secrets of the world of Genshin Impact. The gameplay revolves around a 4-character combat system based on different element abilities that can be combined for tactical advantages. Players are provided updates every 3 weeks, which includes new content and characters on an almost uninterrupted basis. Through the use of this update structure, the implementation of the gacha system, which has its share of controversies, is a positive engagement factor. Hence, Genshin Impact regularly receives updates which creates engagement and ensures player retention.
Okay, Ryan, how does Elden Ring differentiate itself in terms of game design and what are its key strengths?
Elden Ring stands out for its expansive open-world gameplay and great deal of mysteries and backstories, which was developed with George R.R. Martin's involvement. The game is heavily oriented towards players' freedom and difficulty, allowing players to navigate and engage with very complicated environments. The combat system is designed for proficiency, but quite forgiving for those who have mastered the art. World building detail and the way different methods of tracking problems are embedded in the game are the pillars to its success.
Alright, let's dive into the development strategies. Prashan, how did the development team approach the creation of Genshin Impact?
The establishment of Genshin Impact was based on the aspiration to create a captivating and vast world. Using our previous title, Honkai Impacted, as an example, We were able to provide the best visual experience that we can offer. The reason why we went for gacha model is to keep the player engagement in the game. The gacha model ensures that players will keep coming back to the game to see the brand new character.
Ryan, what were the key considerations for the development of Elden Ring and how did they influence the final product?
For Elden Ring, our utmost priority was crafting an immersive experience while giving players the freedom to do as they please. We wanted to create an engaging and responsive environment with an emotionally challenging combat system that would demand adaptation from the players. This was when the creativity of George R. Martin came in handy as it also contributed to the level's background density. The creative principles in this case were aimed at achieving the goal where every inch of the game is designed in such a way that players will be rewarded for their curiosity and tendency.
In fact, Malaysian developers can learn from both Genshin Impact and Elden Ring. These approaches are able to improve their own game development. Genshin Impact is more about lessons regarding the survival of the players through new and fresh content every now and then. Just like in the case of Elden Ring, its success depends heavily on the effective narrative and over-the-top gameplay. Realizing these concepts allow these developers to uplift their already existing games by incorporating great design, story, and player interaction. Moreover, we are also trying to provide these assets and any other stimuli that could assist them achieving those aims. Afiq, what aspects of the game design from both Genshin Impact and Elden Ring do you think should be incorporated into future games?
The advantages of both titles should be combined in the course of developing future games. The result of mixing the breathtaking open worlds of Genshin Impact with the sophisticated and engaging experience of playing Elden Ring can only be hoped for. Also, regular content additions and rich storylines can be provided that will not only appeal to the casual gamers, but even the hardcore ones as well. The mix could result in engaging experience that sustains the players for extended periods of time.
Let us now move on to the aspects of your games that concern the policies such as income generation, through in-game purchases, conduct-related policies, and copyright issues. To begin with, let us talk about in-game purchases. Genshin Impact has gained significant traction due to its gacha concept. Can you share your thoughts on purchasing behavior in-game and satisfying players at the same time?
Definitely. Players will not be compelled to spend money in our gacha system as there is a lot of engagement put simply. Most of our emphasis is on presenting the gacha clearly with odds on the chances of getting the characters and the item being known. We also have constant events and free content updates so that the experience is still enjoyable and rewarding for everyone without having to spend.
That's interesting. It seems like there is a monetization of gaming, but at the same time, this enjoyment of the game is not compromised. Moving on to Elden Ring now, which takes a different turn. So what do you think about any sort of in-game monetization when your game is a premium one?
We decided to go with the one-time purchase model. Our aim is to provide a complete package to the user. There are expansions in the picture, but they are based on the content and not based on microtransactions. So we think this is a fair way of treating our players who pay us for the game.
These two approaches are quite intriguing. Let's now advance on behavior-related policies. Genshin, you are the host of a huge online community. In what ways do you watch over players and the general ambience of the game?
Community engagement and input are our top priority. We also have an active moderation team who monitor interactions in the game as well. And we have rules against such toxic behavior. In addition, we also take steps to reinforce the rules through community events and rewards.
Okay, how about Elden Ring? How do you handle player elements, especially in the online mode?
Freedom is a core tenet of our design, but we also do have player misconduct reporting mechanisms. The problem, however, is how to ensure an open world gameplay experience without the threat of a toxic environment. Thus, we want players to play with each other in a constructive way, and we have ways for them to do that.
That seems quite reasonable. Finally, what about the issue of intellectual property? Genshin, in your game, there are various characters and a lot of lore. How do you protect your IP at the same time allowing your community to be creative?
We understand the importance of the IP and do our best to protect it. However, we also want to see fan arts and other forms of creativity thrive. We have permissive policies that allow a fan to post artwork based on original work, provided due credit is given. It's a matter of protection and involvement in the community.
Ryan, tell us more about the game. How do you protect all these details here? Not only the game itself, but also many incorporated stories.
Well, just like Genshin, we have rules on what is acceptable when fans create something. We always appreciate their potential. Nonetheless, we monitor our IP from being abused. It's about protecting our rights and developing our audience at the same time.
It is apparent that there are established policies with regard to both games, and it's commendable the way policies are put into place in consideration of the gaming immersion of players. I thank you for your time and views on this matter. Pressure, Ryan, any final thoughts on the future of game design and how these trends might evolve?
Game design is expected in the future to focus even more on user engagement and experience. There will be an increased number of games incorporating live elements and user-generated content. The technology will also become effective in improving visuals and interaction, thereby creating better worlds.
Absolutely. There will definitely be an increase in the intensity of the lore and presence of the player's freedom. The obstacle, however, lies in the middle of the road, addressing the challenge of making games immersive yet easy to learn and play at the same time. Surely, advancements in AI and other new technologies such as procedural generations will help create the next level of game world design.
Thank you all for a stimulating discussion on Genshin Impact and Elden Ring. Your insights into game design and development are invaluable.